All right, everyone, happy Thursday. Before we get into today's story, I need to point something out. It has officially been over a month since people first started asking one very simple question. Where is the footage of Charlie Kirk supposedly naming his wife, Erika Kirk, as the person who would take over everything if something ever happened to him? People keep referencing this dramatic moment, claiming it exists somewhere, yet nobody has actually produced it. Strange, right? Especially considering how fast every other clip tied to this situation somehow finds its way online. And speaking of online drama, one of the loudest critics of this show recently tried to mock me by posting a screenshot from his computer. The funny part? People zoomed in and noticed the watch bar showed he had apparently been consuming hours of the program. So while he was trying to insult me, he accidentally exposed himself as a loyal viewer. Honestly, I can't even be mad at that. If anything, welcome to the audience. Now, about a week ago, we offered a cash reward for any information connected to that viral clip of Erika Kirk leaving the White House Correspondents' Dinner saying she wanted to go home. That video spread everywhere overnight, but something about the timing never made sense to me. How did cameras just happen to capture the exact emotional moment everyone needed? Well, it looks like we may finally be getting closer to answers. But before we dive into that, there's another story exploding right now that deserves attention. Propaganda campaigns are ramping up harder than ever, and the scale of it is honestly shocking. We've spent the last several days discussing these newly registered organizations and the amount of money being poured into influence campaigns. Some of these filings openly describe plans to shape public opinion using massive media operations, emotional storytelling, and coordinated messaging targeted directly at churches and conservative audiences. One section that stood out described something called the October 7th experience. And yes, that's apparently a real thing. According to the filings, they're planning traveling setups using VR headsets, giant screens, Hollywood-style production design, and immersive storytelling experiences. The idea is to bring these presentations directly to communities and churches around the country. They're even discussing mobile trailers that can travel from location to location. And listen, regardless of where you stand politically, people are naturally going to ask questions when nearly $1 billion is reportedly being spent on campaigns designed to emotionally influence the public. Especially when the strategy includes social media manipulation, coordinated online activity, and massive bot amplification. A lot of people still believe internet conversations are completely organic, but increasingly it feels like public opinion online is being carefully manufactured. Anyway, switching back to today's main topic. Last week, we announced a reward for more information surrounding that now famous White House Correspondents' Dinner footage involving Erika Kirk. The entire situation felt bizarre from the beginning. Suddenly, the internet was flooded with dramatic posts, emotional reactions, and accusations toward random commentators online. Meanwhile, most people were simply sitting at home trying to figure out what was even happening. First, photos surfaced of Erika preparing for the event in what many people online described as oddly staged glamour-style shots. Then came reports of chaos surrounding the dinner itself. And shortly afterward, the now viral clip appeared showing Erika emotional and saying she wanted to leave and go home. At first, many people actually supported that idea. The general reaction online was basically, yes, probably a good time to step away from the spotlight. But somehow, within hours, the narrative completely flipped. Suddenly, commentators and internet personalities began accusing critics of causing emotional harm simply for discussing public events. Several influencers immediately rushed to social media posting emotional reactions, describing the moment as heartbreaking and traumatic. Others went even further, directly blaming online speculation and commentary for everything that happened that night. The problem is, a lot of viewers were left confused because nobody could explain exactly what criticism supposedly caused the situation. That's why people started digging deeper. They wanted to understand how this footage appeared so quickly, who recorded it, and why the internet narrative became so coordinated almost instantly afterward. And now, based on new information that's beginning to surface, it looks like there may have been far more happening behind the scenes than anyone originally realized. And then things somehow became even more confusing. After reports started spreading about chaos near the Correspondents' Dinner, people online immediately began blaming commentators and political creators for everything that happened. Suddenly, posts were appearing everywhere claiming that criticism online had somehow led directly to the situation unfolding that night. One viral account even claimed that commentary from independent media figures was responsible for creating an atmosphere of danger. Another insisted that Erika was being unfairly targeted and that everyone discussing the situation should be ashamed. But the strange part was that many of us had actually been saying the exact opposite for weeks. Most people weren't telling Erika to stay in the spotlight. They were encouraging her to step away from public pressure, go home, and focus on her family. Yet somehow the narrative flipped overnight. Then came Erika's own response video, which honestly left viewers with even more questions than answers. In one portion, she described entering the ballroom and being shocked by how tightly packed the media tables were together. She also focused heavily on the amount of wine placed at each table, describing the entire environment like some kind of surreal spectacle. And people online were confused because the details she highlighted didn't really explain the larger situation everyone was talking about. Instead, viewers were left wondering about the things nobody seemed willing to address, like why those glamorous curtain photos existed before the event even began, or why emotional footage from the night appeared online almost instantly from perfect camera. The timing felt too precise. The reactions felt coordinated, and the viral spread happened unbelievably fast. That's why we launched the reward offer. We wanted answers about who filmed the now famous clip of Erika leaving the event and how that footage traveled across social media so quickly. And according to multiple direct tips that came in afterward, the story behind that footage may be far bigger than anyone expected. Now, obviously, everything I'm about to say remains alleged until independently verified. But one source reached out almost immediately after our segment aired and provided an extremely detailed account. This individual reportedly works in political circles, supplied specific names, specific timelines, and even offered to back their claims formally, if necessary. According to this source, a political media operative was allegedly positioned ahead of time with instructions to capture Erika at a very specific location the moment she exited the event. The claim is that digital media teams were already prepared for distribution and that once the footage was recorded, it was rapidly circulated through coordinated online networks to maximize virality. If true, that would completely change how people view the entire situation. Another source reportedly provided additional evidence, including a still frame from alternate footage that has not been publicly released. The image itself appears authentic according to preliminary checks, though the full video has not yet been obtained. All of this has only intensified suspicions that the viral moment may not have been as spontaneous as the public was initially led to believe. And here's where things get even more complicated. If evidence eventually proves the moment was strategically captured and intentionally amplified online, what happens next? Does everyone suddenly pretend the coordinated rollout never happened? Do people argue that Erika herself had no knowledge of it? Was it simply aggressive PR by people around her acting independently? Those are the questions many viewers are now asking. Because regardless of political opinion, audiences can usually sense when something feels authentic and when something feels carefully manufactured for maximum emotional impact. Right now, a growing number of people believe this entire situation falls into that second category. At this point, it honestly feels like we're watching a carefully scripted performance unfold in real time. The deeper people look into the White House Correspondents' Dinner incident, the more questions start piling up. Not just about the footage itself, but about the reactions afterward. Because almost immediately after everything happened, the exact same talking points appeared across dozens of major accounts at the exact same time. And strangely enough, many of them were all pushing one very specific idea, that President Trump suddenly needed a brand new White House ballroom. Think about that for a second. A frightening situation allegedly takes place. Confusion erupts online. People are still trying to figure out what happened. And somehow the coordinated takeaway becomes, this proves Trump needs a ballroom. Not security concerns. Not questions about event planning. Not concern for attendees. A ballroom. That's what struck so many people as bizarre. Multiple public figures and political personalities all posted nearly identical reactions within hours, repeating the same message almost word for word. To critics watching from the outside, it didn't feel organic. It felt rehearsed, like everyone had received the same memo at the same time. And this is exactly why public skepticism keeps growing. Because once people notice patterns like that, they start re-examining everything else too. They start asking why certain emotional moments were filmed perfectly, why narratives spread instantly, why specific conclusions appear before basic facts are even confirmed. It creates the feeling that modern politics is becoming less about reality and more about image management. That's why so many viewers now believe we're living in an era where perception is being manufactured in real time. Viral moments are carefully shaped. Public sympathy is strategically amplified. And online outrage is often coordinated long before the average person even realizes a story exists. Now, obviously, none of this proves every theory people throw around online. But what it does explain is why public trust keeps collapsing. When audiences constantly feel manipulated, eventually they begin questioning everything. And if solid evidence ever emerges proving that parts of this viral Erika Kirk moment were intentionally staged or strategically distributed, the backlash would be enormous. Not just for the individuals involved, but for the broader political circles connected to the situation. Because once people believe emotional narratives are being packaged and sold to them like marketing campaigns, it becomes very difficult to rebuild credibility afterward. The other major issue people are discussing right now is influence, specifically how massive political organizations, lobbying groups, and media networks use money and digital operations to shape public opinion online. Many critics argue that modern propaganda no longer looks like old-fashioned television commercials. Instead, it spreads through influencer networks, coordinated social media campaigns, viral clips, emotional storytelling, and algorithm-driven amplification designed to steer conversations in very specific directions. And whether people agree with that argument or not, one thing is undeniable. Huge amounts of money are being spent trying to influence public perception every single day. That's why figures like Congressman Thomas Massie have gained attention from independent audiences online. Supporters often point to his long-standing opposition to foreign spending bills and his reputation for resisting pressure from major lobbying groups as reasons why he stands out from the crowd.